Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Dancho, Chair of the Ordinance Committee. The budget workshop of the Ordinance Committee is hereby reconvened and closed, and we will now proceed to the Special Ordinance Committee meeting. It is 8:04 p.m. I need a motion for item 2.1.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve an ordinance for item 2.1, adopting the annual operating budget for the town of Stratford for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2023, and appropriating the sum of $249,135,162 in accordance therewith, and sent to the council with a favorable recommendation.
Mr. Pia made the motion. Is there a second? Mr. O'Brien, any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Can.
Thank you, Chairman. We just received a note regarding the COVID-related shortfall in revenues from this year to next year, that the ARP guidelines say that we should refer to and document before we use the money for general operating expenses. Just a note, and I'm going to generalize, so apologies to Dawn and others if I misrepresent. Last year we counted on $4.7 million of distressed municipality money that was never approved by the state. It was removed, quote, at the last minute, but that 4.7 is part of the, quote, money that we're counting as lost. And I don't know if it was never yours, I don't know if you can count it as lost. I just wanted to make that point. And a second point is, in prior years, aside from last year, I believe last year was the first time we did not get our CIP and our capital improvement proposal at the same time as we got our budget. And to me, that's disconcerting because, you know, we do intend likely to borrow monies, and the cost of borrowing would be part of this budget. And as debt service is such a large segment, I much preferred having cognition of what we were borrowing money for before I approved the entire budget. So I lament that we didn't have an opportunity to look at that at the time that we're seeking to move this budget forward.
Thank you, Mr. Can. We are not talking about CIP, CEP tonight. This is for the general operating budget. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Chairwoman, I do.
Shake.
Through you. My only question is, at our last ordinance meeting regarding the budget workshops, which I believe was the Board of Ed meeting that we had, was that we were going to have an additional budget workshop meeting with Dr. Osunde here. So because this is in front of us right now, is that not happening?
Correct. That's not happening. We had originally thought to have a separate meeting with Dr. Osunde. He did not send a representative on April 20th when our scheduled Board of Ed budget workshop was originally scheduled, and Pam Mangini was there, and she gave a very comprehensive, thorough description of the Board of Ed budget request, and we felt that at the time we were still waiting for some answers from the state, so we felt that having a second meeting with Dr. Osunde wasn't necessary, so we're not doing that. Does anyone else have anything to say about that? Mr. Pia.
Through you, Madam Chair, and just to Ms. Shake's point, just so to provide some extra clarity, per the town charter, all the councilors knows, but to the public, the town charter says that we have to have the budget approved by the end of day on May 12th, which happens to be Thursday. The state was still in legislation, and this is an answer to your question in terms of the thought process behind it. We were waiting on a lot of state numbers, mainly the alliance money, the car tax mill rate, which did change, and we had talked about that in budget as well. So basically, when Friday came around, we essentially had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to get this done. We had already had established meetings, so in the interest of time, also the interest of getting it done, also the interest of scheduling conflicts with other committees and commissions that do use this room. You know, I worked with the administration, and obviously I set the agenda for the council, and we need to keep that in strict schedule. So that's where we had to do what we got to do to keep things moving. We did have a budget workshop. We've heard, everyone can watch the YouTube on it, but we got to keep things moving. So that was the time frame of which we didn't have much left to work with. So just to provide some clarity.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chairwoman. So my question was just for clarification, because you had offered that Dr. Sunday come back and be part of follow-up questions, because this body, many of us had questions regarding the Board of Ed budget. So you're saying that we're not going to have that opportunity to follow up?
Correct. We just felt that it wasn't necessary at the time, and it's very clear what the Board of Ed request is and what the reasons are, and to go into further discussion would have just said the same thing.
Thank you.
We're already very much aware of the Board
Thank
of
you
Ed
for
and the
making that
request and the
clear.
reason. Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That's 1, 2, 3, 5. Opposed? 4. Motion carries. Item 2.2.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion. Item 2.2, an ordinance levying a tax rate as stated and sent to the council with a favorable, and also restate my motion, Madam Chair. Item 2.2, an ordinance levying a tax rate of 39.46 mils on the dollar in the grand list of taxable property in the town of Stratford, Connecticut on the first day of October 21st, 2021, and B, of 39.46 mils on the dollar of the grand list of taxable motor vehicle property in the town of Stratford, Connecticut on the first day of October 21st, 2021, be sent to the council with a favorable recommendation.
Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Pia.
I'll say.
Mr. O'Brien? Seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. All opposed? 4 opposed. Motion carries 5-4.
Motion to adjourn, Madam Chair.
Second. Jean Marie, Ms. Sutton, did you second?
Sure, second.
Or do you want to stick around for a little while? You okay? All right, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned. It's 8:12 p.m.